It is a party in first grade. Look at all these crazy bubbles everywhere. Can you see them? Oh my word, it's a party in first grade because you have done it. You are officially second graders. Of course, I know many of you. Look at all these bubbles I'm going to walk through. Good thing that ants don't like bubbles, huh? Many of you have already finished your work, but today is officially the last day of first grade. It is Thursday, May 21st, 2020 for our expanded date, which means our coded date is 5/21/20. I thought I would just take you on a little walk through our classroom and some different things we learned. We did learn about cardinal directions. We know that that's south, and if we look around our classroom, we'll see the other ones. We did vocabulary. We learned lots of new first grade words, including hypothesis, which is a guess you can test. In math, we learned about things like tally marks, and we remembered how to count them with our BAM. We also learned about nouns and verbs and punctuation. We had some fun math centers. Remember this one where we get to make our own sentences out of the words? We had centers, especially on Friday, where we did different things. I already took our verse down, but we're going to talk about all the verses we learned in just a second. But we also learned how to be gold star students, how to really help and look for helping other people. We had jobs that we pulled each week. We learned a ton about time, so much about time, and how to count on a clock and how to count by fives on the number line or the hours by ones. We learned about our left and right hand and the word right when we're writing that's different than our right hand. We learned a lot about temperature and how to use the tool of a thermometer to tell us what's going on outside. We did tons in phonics. One of the things we did in phonics was learning to code words so we could figure out unknown words. So we learned about short vowels and long vowels and when they are short or long. We did tons in our See It, Sort It. Today I have letters in there, which we did do some writing because you're smart problem solvers. Sometimes we did clocks in that, remember? Or we did phrases. We also looked at our maps a lot and learned a lot about directions and using maps. And we had a great time just learning where different things were on the maps. Here's our class rules. I hope you guys will continue following these on into second grade. I hope you guys will always make the wise choice and that you will treat others the way you want to be treated. I hope you will do that for your whole lives. And I hope as you go into second grade, you will do your very best to stay on your green star or whatever it is in Miss Wakefield's class. Okay, we learned tons and tons about cycles this year. We learned about the water cycle, the pumpkin life cycle. We learned about cycles of animals. But we also learned about the cycles of the seasons. Remember that a year has a cycle and even a week has a cycle. We learned so much about place value, so much about place value. There's our north, I see it. We learned so much about place value and the hundreds place, the tens place, and the ones place. And we learned how to use those to add and subtract. We also did lots of reading. There's our counting for our reading wall. In reading class, we learned tons about nonfiction and fiction, how to give evidence in our answers and to predict what was going to happen, and how to ask questions about what we're reading so we make sure we understand what we're reading, because that is the goal. There's our compass rose. I can see it over there. And our tooth tally chart. We used stem bends, but we didn't just do it just to do something for fun, but we figured out how can we make this even better? How can we make it taller or wider? How can we make it hold weight? We were problem solvers with that. We talked about the clock. We used our number line to count on and count back a lot as we did so much addition and subtraction. We also did lots of math centers, tons and tons of math centers, right? Including our fraction math center memory and our rainbow clock. We did centers in reading too, like our Jenga sight words. Remember that one? That was so fun. We said we did punctuation. We learned that every sentence does not end with a period. Sometimes it's a question and sometimes it's an exclamation mark. We learned about sneaky E and other crazy things that happen in the English language. We learned about fact and opinion and main idea in stories. Do you remember there's our bananagrams? Do you remember we would use that as a reading center? What are these, everybody? You're right, there's letters because we wrote lots of letters and we did lots with contractions. Here's our reading centers. We had so much fun with our reading centers, didn't we? So fun. We did tons and tons as we learned about the Bible. Here's our books of the Bible. I'm sending you something home with that you'll be able to do over summer if you would like. We talked a lot about different places in the world and how different people live. And we talked about missionaries that go to different places in the world. Look at our cubbies are looking a little bit sad without your books in there, or your mailboxes without all of your stuff in there. We know in math we talked about coins, and we talked about thousands, hundreds, tens, and ones. What is that I'm focused on? You're right. It's the 120s chart. Okay, are you ready for a question? Let's see if I can not give it away. Ready? Here it is. My question is 6 an odd or even number? Is 6 an odd or even number? Oh, there it is. You know, if it can go into groups of 2, into 2 groups, then it must be even. Yes, I wish you guys were here so that we could take our marbles and fill up our marble jar and vote on a party for a job well done. There's our dice. How many math centers did we do with dice? Lots and lots and lots of them, didn't we? Also in reading class, you know that we learned to give rad answers. First grade, I promise you, as you go through school all the way up, when you are answering questions about something that you have read, whether that's in reading or science or social studies or any other subject, if you give rad answers, they will be excellent and they will be complete. But my favorite part about everything we did this year is this. What is this, first grade? Yes, we did lots and lots and lots of learning about this book and the amazing things that God shares with us in this book. As you leave first grade and become second graders, I hope you will remember that Jesus loves you more than anything, and so do I. And I hope you will remember the very important lessons we learned this year from this amazing book. All of our true Bible stories and the people who have made a difference in the world and the people who made mistakes, and God still loved them and helped them. So I just want you to remember that. Okay, I'm going to do one last story time. It is the book that I save until the very end. It's not one of our bid books that we used at the very end, but I think I'll get maybe in one of our bean bags, do you think? In our class library. And then let's do a little story time. Get comfy. You've made it to the last day. It's so exciting, first grade. I'm so proud of you. We're going to read a book called Last Day Blues. Isn't that so perfect for today? We're going to read that in just a minute, but I wanted to show you something as we finish up this last day. I know that depending on when you are watching this video, I might have already been able to wave at some of you this morning at our parade, but if you're watching this before our parade, then I will see you very soon, and I can't wait for our last day celebration where we're going to get to wave and have a cool end of school parade. I know you finished your work, but today is officially the last day and you've made it. Hey, I wanted to show you, I sent home already to you a couple of things. This is one thing, end of the year fun. And there's all kinds of fun things in this. It's just kind of like a little bit like a morning work, but with more fun puzzles and things like break the code, summer word. This is a crossword puzzle. We learned how to do that in first grade. There's make words out of things and mazes and all kinds of things. And so you guys can have a great time with that. I also sent home to you something we did not finish in school because of the way this kind of weird quarter went, and that is your Chapter 12 math. First grade, I know I've seen some of you have already been doing that. Thank you. Great job. I would like you to still work on this over this summer. This is all just review. It's just stuff you've already learned, but it helps keep our brain working if we're still thinking about math and reading. And even though this is our very last story time, I hope you will still do lots and lots of story time this summer. In fact, I hope you will read every single day. I hope you will read for fun. I hope you will read to learn something new. I hope you will read when you're helping moms and dads. I hope you will just read all of the time, just like I want you to also do math all the time. Help add up those numbers when you're shopping, okay? Okay, let's read a very fun summer, oh, I did it my last time for the last time where I have to go, whoop, let's start again. Let's read our very last story. Okay, is everybody comfy? I'm going to get a little closer so I can show you pictures, okay? Okay, so Last Day Blues. Can you see that teacher right there? Does she look a little sad? I can't tell. Let's see what happens. Last Day Blues. Look at their class pet. The class pat looks a little bit sad to me. I have to tell you, first grade, I thought Ninja looked a little bit bored the other day. He was a little like, where are all the first graders? I miss them. Last day blues. Look at how sad the teachers look. They're looking into the school bus and they all kind of look sad. Like that all the kids are leaving. On the Monday morning, before the Friday that was the last day of school, Mrs. Hartwell took attendance. She sighed as she called out the last name. I am going to miss all of you, she said. That's how I feel too. I'm going to miss all of you. The kids nodded in agreement. I'm going to miss my friends, said Shannon. I'm going to miss Daisy, said Dan. Do you see who Daisy is? I'm going to miss chocolate milk and pizza for lunch, said Joe. Everyone felt a little bit blue thinking about the last day of school. Even Daisy. A little bit blue is like a little bit sad. That afternoon, during recess, the students talked as they hung out on the jungle gym. Miss Hartwell said she's going to miss us, said Alexandra, swinging from a bar. We should get a present to cheer her up, said Eddie, hanging upside down by his knees. Oh, I forgot a line. Ready? But what could they get her? Let's see. And here, look at all their ideas. Do you see that? Look at the sandwich. I could give her the rest of my sandwich. It's my mom's bologna special, said Josh. Or a coffee cup. Or a new pen, like the kind with feathers and beads. The students thought and thought, but couldn't come up with one single idea that they all agreed on. We'll think of something tomorrow, Eddie assured everyone as they lined up at the drinking fountain. Oh, dear. Look at what's happening. Do we get in trouble for doing that at the drinking fountain? He'd have to pull a color, wouldn't he? On the Tuesday before the Friday, that was the last day of school, Mrs. Hartwell read the final pages of their last read aloud book. Here's our last read aloud book. I'm going to miss circle time, said Mrs. Hartwell. I'm going to miss science, said Emily. I'm going to miss seeing Mrs. Hartwell wear her safety goggles during science, said Jack, giggling. And so before they got too sad, Mrs. Hartwell put on her safety goggles one last time, just for fun. Laughing in first grade is a lot of fun, isn't it? I think so too. We'll definitely need to cheer Miss Hartwell up, said Andy during recess as he jumped off the swing, out of the swing. Any idea about a present? Asked Eddie. Eddie asked. Nope, they all answered back. Oh, they're thinking. They just can't quite come up with an idea. On the Wednesday before the Friday that was the last day of school, Mrs. Hartwell brought in her super duper sugar cookies with extra frosting. I'm going to miss snack time, but I can't wait for barbecues by the pool, said Jack. I'm going to miss recess, but I can't wait to play hide and seek outside after dinner, said Alexandra. Look at, and can you see what they're saying they're going to do this summer? I'll miss school, but I can't wait for summer vacation, said Josh. The class discussed their summer plans and drawed their last day blues around, drowned. I'm so sorry, I said that wrong. The class discussed their summer plans and drowned their last day blues with another round of milk and sugar cookies. Egypt would be a really fun place to go, huh? Can you see the picture of the teacher? I don't know whether to be happy or sad today, Andy said the minute they all arrived at the jungle gym. Miss Hartwell is sad, said Olivia. She probably doesn't want the year to end. While we're swimming, she'll be reading her old lesson plans, said Walter. And while we're playing, she'll be trying to remember the fun times we had this year, said Dan. Oh, watch what happens. And that's when an idea zip-zapped and zigged through Eddie's brain. I know exactly what will cheer her up, Eddie said, jumping down from the jungle gym. The class agreed it was perfect. On the Thursday before the Friday that was the last day of school, Eddie raised his hand right after Miss Hartwell started language arts. We need some privacy, please, he said. So Mrs. Hartwell took down bulletin boards with her back to the class. She never even peeked. Well, only once. Can you see she's peeking? What do you predict that they're doing? I wonder if you can figure it out. Can you tell what day it is? On the morning of the Friday that was the last day of school, the students dashed into the classroom. They snapped open the shades for the very last time. They did their chores for the very last time. They fed Daisy for the very last time. And as soon as the bell rang, they couldn't wait for Mrs. Hartwell to see her present for the very first time. Do you see they're doing all their class jobs? Have you had to have class jobs at your house while you've been doing school at home? Like maybe sharpening pencils? Look what they made. The last day of school makes us so blue. It's a poem. We'll miss recess and pizza and reading too. We'll miss Daisy and cookies and friendship true. Snack time and science and learning new. We'll miss spelling bees for our test review and groundhogs that play peekaboo. This year's been great, a big wahoo. There are many things to miss, it's true, but mostly what we'll miss is, you said it, didn't you? Is you. How does their teacher look? She looks pretty happy. Don't all the students look really happy too? That's how you guys make me feel. You make me feel very happy. Okay, watch what happens. Later on, during recess, Eddie said, I think Mrs. Hartwell liked her present. I just hope it helps, Margaret said. Poor Mrs. Hartwell. They all said sadly as they pictured their final goodbye. Teachers must hate the last day of school. Okay, look at how the kids are picturing the last day of school. What are the teachers all doing? Let's see the school bus is leaving, and what's everybody doing? Crying and being sad. And then it was time. The bell rang. Goodbye, the students called as they rushed out the door. Goodbye, Mrs. Hartwell called after them. And then she returned to her empty classroom. It's just you and me, Daisy, she said. I'm sure going to miss them this summer. Just like I'm going to miss you this summer. But I can't wait for vacation. What are all the teachers actually doing? First grade, is that so funny? Those teachers were excited to go on their vacation too. Oh, I think I maybe missed a last page. There's a page without words. What's Miss Hartwell doing on her vacation? Can you see? She's in the hammock, fell asleep after reading a book. There she is at the beach with her puppy and her husband. And then look, they're looking at birds and a canoe. I hope you have a fantastic summer. I can't wait to hear all about it. I hope you will send me a text or a photo or a video of something awesome you've done, because it just makes my heart happy and I love it. First grade, I wanted to tell you something. Sweet Kaden gave me this really cool stamp, and I'm going to use it next year. I just got it, but I wanted to give this all to you right now because I wanted you to know that I am so proud of you. Sorry, I accidentally smeared it with my finger. It says, Mrs. Ellis is so proud of you. First grade, I am so proud of you. You have done really well in a really strange end of school. But you didn't do just well this fourth quarter. You did well the whole year. You worked hard. You were kind and loving. You showed Jesus to others. And here's what I want you to see. Did you see in the end of your portfolio? There is all those sweet kids that I love with my whole heart. And there we are looking all nice. And here's how we were in our real daily lives, huh? All a little bit busy and all a little bit silly. First grade, go be awesome as second graders. I love you bunches. I'll be praying for you. Do a great job. Have such a good summer. Bye.